Yes, it is a habit. I have to mess around with the camera as soon as we start to go live. It's all part of the fast, friendly service you get here at Thrash Pondo's House of a Thousand Live Chats. And as always, I'm a little bit live. As you see, I put a little more swag on the wall. It was sort of a rush job. I'll probably get some more and better swag for next time. I literally just took those off my garage door, except for the grandma's babysitting service. That actually was something we had on the old refrigerator, which I refused to let go. So I ripped it off the old refrigerator. Can't bring myself to put on the new one. It's stainless steel, so it might live there for a while, but we'll see. We'll see. Dave is here with us. He says hi. Amanda Carlin. Oh, Mrs. Carlin, it's so nice you to join us. How are you doing? Great to see you in our chat tonight. Please tell Mr. ENC we said hey. And that goes double for you. Hope all is well your end. So nice to see you, Miss. Is. I keep calling you Miss. Mrs. Lance Javen is here. He says, hi, a thrash. Lance, so awesome to see you. Welcome aboard, man. How you liking those DVDs I sent you? Ethan is here and says, the car that wrote the book about his life. It was called an autobiography. That I'm going to steal that, Keith. I am going to steal that. My brother, the car. I'm going to steal that. Mike Silva's here says, God, I love Pac Man. I love Pac Man too. I have at least one version of it in the bridge on one of those old game system setups. Along course with Space Invaders, Centipede, Missile Command, and Battle Zone. But anyway, Mike, so it's so nice to see you, by the way, and I love, I love the music lyrics that you've been sending lately. It brings back so many memories, and it's so great to see you with us tonight. Lance is saying hello to Amanda, Mrs. Carlin, if you please. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't stand on convention. Convention never stood on me. Mike says Avalanche movie from 1978 comes to mind. That's one of your favorites, if I've been paying attention. And Amanda Carlin says, I'm great. Thank you. That is so nice to hear. Michael's Drones and RC's is here. He says, hello, Thrash Bondo. Michael, so great of you to join us, by the way. If you haven't checked out Michael's stuff and you have an interest in remote controlled drones and flying machines, check his channel out. He's got some great stuff. I'm sure you'll be very interested. Mike Silva says, not since the fuzzy Zoller Lee Trevino collision of 1974 has there been such a horrible golf cart accident. That has to be MST3K. Oh, and Mrs. Amanda says, "Oh, I hope you're doing well. Yes, we are. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. They won't renew my medication just because I haven't been in the office in 3 years. Think about what happened 3 years ago. Would you want to go to a doctor's office during COVID? So the whole practice gonna get away from me. But now they're dragging me in. So wish me luck, folks. You know what he's gonna tell me? He's gonna tell me to lose weight. I already knew that. And then he's gonna go, that'll be $15. Michael's Drones and RC says I stopped by to show my support to your channel and smash that like button. For you, my friend, hope you're doing well today. Michael, we're doing quite well today. Mrs. Thresh has a nasty headache. She's laying down as a result. But I took her to Dollar General to get some medication and some goodies, so hopefully she'll feel better. But thank you for asking. David is here. He says, got done watching Forbidden Planet. I caught Forbidden Planet. I was like 4 or 5, and I caught a few scenes of Forbidden Planet. That whole id monstrous thing scared the bejesus out of me. It still holds up to this day. It's a great movie. It's a little dated, but it's a great movie. Let's just see. Just a lot of people saying hello to one another. Tracy's Fractured History and more is here. Says hi, Robert and gang. And Daryl Johnson, he says, Bobby, other brother Daryl, how you doing, bro? And Lance is right, says, smash that like button, please, and tie. Lance is a tie fighter. It's actually thank you. But I work with what I got. And I am actually caught up. Wow, this is the part where I usually get... So let's see. I mean, we only got 9 people so far. Hopefully, we shall have more in the not too distant future. Keith says, Tarot, Siri, just want to it. She wants us to read tarot cards. I'm game. I got a couple really cool Ouija board stories for you folks out there too. Although for those of you who are sensitive to that type of stuff, I can avoid. Mike Silva says Thunderbirds Argo in vivid color. Indeed, they are. Uh, People are saying hi to Cindy. Did Cindy? Oh, no, there she is. Cindy Dees here says hello, everyone. Cindy, hello to you too. By the way, so nice that you could make it tonight. And well, that it's so nice you could make it tonight. And how's everyone doing this fine Sunday? The weirdest thing is they've been promising like a mega electrical storm here on Cape Cod for like days, and the system just didn't quite gel, got delayed, stalled here, moved a little over there. Long story short, we had the it wasn't a Cape Cod level electrical storm last night. The only time I've seen electrical storms like this is when I was in Florida. And for those of you Floridians out there, by the way, you know how bad electrical storms can get. It was like the house was rumbling, and it wasn't just that cocoon thunder. It was that boom, where the shutters just keep going on. It was crazy. But we got about an inch and a half of rain. So even though Cape Cod wasn't particularly warm today, the humidity index is about 110%. It's just like that miserable, hot, humid, heavy air. I should stop complaining. Rest of the country is much worse. But I'm going to complain, damn it. Anyway, Les Jamin says, I watched Indy Jones, was not too bad. I haven't seen it myself, actually. I might give it a shot. He says, hello, Lance Jafin. Hello, Thrash. Hello, Daryl Johnson. And a lot of the fellowship. David says, peace to Maul. Oh, I'm sorry, that was an I. Peace to Maui. I feel absolutely terrible. I actually have family in Hawaii. To my understanding, they're actually on Big Island, not Maui. But I haven't been able to get much information. As you guys know, my cousin Brian, who pops in, he hasn't heard anything either. So I'm trying to get in touch with Keone and my Aunt Jen and Uncle Joe Michael to see if you're watching this. Let me know if you're okay. I still feel bad. Oh my God, I still feel bad. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, there was that freak false missile attack. That really messed our Hawaiian brethren up really bad. If you were in Hawaii then, it was like, Sean is here. He says, hello, all. Looks like Keith E. Should mark him as present or no? Yes, Keith E. is here. Terrell Eugene Bellinger is here. He says, good evening, Mr. Thrash. My bestest friend in the world. Oh, you are my bestie as well, Teb. It is so nice to have you here. I would keep a couple of your icebreakers on standby. Sure, we could use them. Indy Spotes is here. Says that I accidentally tuned into the Weather Channel. Only a very selfish form of Weather Channel. I don't give the entire country or the world. I give Cape Cod. Not that that's all I care about, but it's the only thing I know firsthand at this time. And remember, always present facts. And Cape Cod weather for me is facts. Cindy D says message retracted. And a message retracted to you, my dear. Daryl Jones says it's 85 and freaking hot to me. Yeah, you're in the southern part of the country too, if I remember correctly. Keith, he says, please mark me present. He jumped off the page. I need the time. Ooh, Cindy D says the heat index is 104. Commiserations, my dear. Loving fellowship saying hello to everyone. Wajamin is here. He says hello, everyone. Hello to you too, Wajamin. And oh, Dave says he's been to Maui twice. I've actually never been to Hawaii, and I have family there. It's an absolute disgrace. Danny Staten is here. He says, greetings from South Carolina. Greetings to you, too. I heard there was some power outages down in South Carolina. I'm very glad you could make it. Or was it North Carolina? One of the Carolinas. But I am very glad you could make it, Danny, by the way. Oh, and by the way, send me some more advance notice. He had one of his midnight shows on the other night, and I crashed early, and I didn't watch it. Let me know. If you know you're going to do it in advance, please let me know. So, Keithy says, hello, Cindy. Don't put me in timeout. Daryl's in the Pacific Northwest. Ooh, Northwest. It should be cooler there, should it not? Indy's Bout says, sup all. Jay-Z is here. He says, Thrash for president in 2024. Are you trying to put a curse on me? That's very, very, very kind of you. I suppose I could run. I would run under the I don't see how I could do much worse category. Danny says hundreds here all day just now, cooling off. Yeah, it doesn't cool off here because we're so muggy. And let's see. Oh, and Danny's given us a link to a what you mean. Oh, please give one to Michael's drones and RCs as well. The Pod Blast is here. It says, "Hey gang, Danny, please give uh, uh, link to Pod Blast as well. Pod Blast, so great you could join us, and please keep me up to date on upcoming projects you got. By the way, Danny Skaten says, I didn't know till I texted you last minute decision. I blame it on vodka. Oh no worries. I figured it was a last minute decision type of thing where you just went on because you just felt like it at that moment. But that's my excuse for why I slept through it. I'm so sorry, bro. And oh, thank you for giving us another link. And Tracy says, sorry guys, I was only half paying attention because I was cleaning up the house at the same time. But now I'm here to listen. That's very, very kind of you. Oh, by the way, commiserations. Does anybody else hear this? I don't want to pry in the details because it's none of my darn business. But John Collins has dropped out of Facebook, and we haven't seen him here on YouTube in some time. Is he distancing himself for some reason? Does anybody know? I might try to give him a shout out, but if anybody knows firsthand, I didn't want to bother him if it's something that he doesn't want to be bothered by. But anyway, John, if you're here or at least listening, please take care of yourself and know that we all love you and are just interested in your well-being. Oh, Mike Silva says, not the movie Laser Blast. Definitely not the movie Laser Blast, although the stop motion animation of that is priceless. It's very, very good. Dave said, I had no Wi-Fi on Monday for 3 days. Wow. Ouch. Indy Spout says, what's the category tonight? Thrasher funny? Funny, you should ask. It's kind of morbid. Being August, and August being the month of my birth, I decided to do something August related. So what I did was I made a collection of celebrities who were either born or whom we lost in the month of August and compiled a list of trivia questions therein. So it's, I guess you could call it Caesar Augustus trivia. How's that? And Tab, oh, he's an icebreaker. He says, Thrash, have you ever heard of the true crime story of a Family Feud contestant who killed his wife after appearing on the show, in which he joked about their marriage? If I remember correctly, that gentleman was a bailiff, and I don't want to get the show wrong. It was something like a people's court. Because remember, for a while, there were a lot of those courtroom shows where people would bring their grievances to this person's forum as opposed to an actual civil court. And he was like this really big but teddy bear like person who was always joking about his wife and his marriage, much like the weird thing is funny you mentioned it, much like me today in the store. uh a cashier that we knew was working, and I was in a different aisle, so when she saw Mrs. Thrash, she goes, did you leave your husband? And I blurted out across the store, she wishes, and got a big laugh of self-deprecation. But of course, it's a joke. I actually wouldn't leave my wife if I could. Who else would put up with me? But all this being said, yes, I had heard that story. It's very, very sad, and it just shows to go you again, because all the man ever talked about besides his duties on this court show was his wife, and then he went and killed her. Very, very sad. I wish I could remember the name. If anybody in the comments remembers the name, please let me know. Shannon says, Keith I guess I'll allow it present, or a present as in a gift. The presence of presents. We've given you the gift of our presence. Speaking of the presence of presents, I have to shout out two people who may or may not be here tonight. Hungry Jerk, Mr. Tom, gave me a message earlier saying he had to work tonight. He will be listening. You know him, he likes to pop in when he's on a break or something in between portioning out lasagna, and they'll say hi, everyone. Please, everyone, give a shout out to Mr. Tom. He's one of our longest term friends. Oh, and of course, Baked Bean. Baked Bean apparently had a previous commitment, I believe, with Mrs. Bean, so he will not be able to make it tonight. But much love from us all, and of course, he actually wanted me to send his love to you all. And Nostalgic Pablo says, Mike Silva, Laser Blast. Ah! And Lance Javen says, hope John is okay. Thumbs up. Definitely. We all hope he's okay. Tracy says he's dropped out of Facebook. I know. Were they giving him static about something? They actually gave me crap. Someone actually wanted me to forward something, which I did. I'm always willing to make an accommodation for a friend. And I got this, not nasty, but kind of stern notification from Facebook saying, "Oh, the document that you forwarded is not altogether true, and this is a warning." And I just went and I deleted the post because I don't want to argue with anybody. And that was, as they say, that. But it was just about, it was that thing I posted about how if you have no signal or no battery power when you're in like the desert or something, and you can't send a message out, what you do is you go to your message screen and you change your invite message to say, "Hi, this is Thrash. Leave a message." And you say, "I'm stuck here. These are my coordinates. Please come and get me." Because that will generally still work, even if you have only a little teeny bit of power, and it doesn't matter if you don't have bars. And I thought that was a great idea. It's at least worth forwarding. But they said that's not altogether true. I'm like, fine. I wasn't trying to pass the cell phone law or whatever. But anyway, Keithy says, "What do you call a cat that just got hit by a truck?" Cat or gory? Wowzers! Oh my god! Oh, Brainwood is here. Says John. Who? Justin, so great to see you. I'm not sure. Oh, John Collins, our friend of channel, John Collins. But anyway, Justin, so glad you could make it. Oh, Lance has already told you it was John Collins. Indy says, depending on how I do, I may title tonight's trivia the the falls of August. Very good, but I made this. Hopefully, this one is on the easier side. And Indy says, "LOL, Thrash." Thank you. Dave says, anybody seen Airplane? One of my favorite comedies of all time, particularly the first one. Teb says, Tim Blind Frick, I'm sure I butchered that name, was the contestant's name. He's just been sentenced to 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Oh, I did it again, didn't I? I got stuck talking about this courtroom drama show. You were talking. That's right. You were talking about Family Feud. I was thinking actual feud. But yes, but yes, Tim Blenfrick. Wow, that's actually. Oh, they're both very sad, and it's very crazy how truth can imitate life, and vice versa. Somebody says, shout out to Major Tom. That's very kind of you. Lance Jeffers says, yes, David, and don't call me Shirley. I love that running gag. Keithy says, it's like 2:00 in the morning. What's fake been doing? Oh, you mean baked? I'm not entirely sure. None of my bees cheese. But I do, uh-oh. Oh, there we go. I had that block screen again. I'm like, no. I don't want to block anybody or everybody. Quality time is what I'm going to guess or say at least. David says, yes, order the fish or the steak. That's right. I had lasagna. Lance Javen says, David, what's your vector? Over Unger, and Unger was underdone. I think I'm skipping into the second one. Keithy says, hello to John Collins. If you're listening, Shannon says, to myself and to Tom. He said a friend of his won 1K and got his picture taken with Shatner while dressed as a Magato. Do you mean a Matango? That's like a giant mushroom monster. Oh, Magato! Oh, Magato! It's that white ape with the sort of dragon back that attacks Kirk when he's trying to mess with his old friend's really hot witch wife or wife witch. Justin says, "I remember David. I remember David. I had the lasagna." And he says, "Let's see your old man drag Walton or Lanier up and down the court." Kitty says, "We ordered the vegan meal, but we'll eat the chicken instead." You know, I probably shouldn't share this on the interweb, but I actually had a guy the other day claim he was vegan and then order a dish with chicken in it. Just shows to go you. But people are funny or people are phony, depending on how you want to look at it. Dave says, "Breaking news: Maui movie weed plantation." Oh, I'm sorry. Breaking news: Maui Wowie weed plantation has burned. I'm crying inside. That's all you can think about right now, that, huh? That's all you. Oh, while we're on the subject, and if Gary Carpenter's here, I want to ask him if he gets here because he's the one who brought this to my attention. Supposedly, David Chapman, the dog, the bounty hunter, there was a report that he was actually killed in this fire, and he does live in Hawaii. So, if anybody has any news that could corroborate or discorroborate this, please let me know. Ted says, "Do you remember the infamous Jenny Jones show uh, murder in which Jonathan Schmidt shot Scott Amador to death after they appeared on the Secret Crush episode of the talk show that never really aired?" I do. I remember that vividly. They had to change some of the laws about talk shows as a result of that. Very, very sad story. And I feel bad for everyone involved. But a very, very sad story. Jay Albridge is here. Jay, how you doing, Jay? So great to see you, man. Says, "Howdy. I'm just so proud to be here." We are proud to have you, Jay. It's so great. You know, it's funny. I was just watching. Was it the Star Trek or it was either it was one of your requests. It was either the Star Trek or the Robert Heinlein post I did, and I thought of you. So it's so nice you're here tonight. So good to see you. It is about says my favorite vegan meal have meat. Yes, my favorite vegan meals have meat as well. It's like my old joke. What do vegans have for Thanksgiving? Who cares? Oh, Mike says the Tyrell that was very interesting. It certainly was. And Mike also agrees with Pod Blast. Excellent. Lance Chafin says, "Hey, Jay." Keithy says, "I remember it very sadly." That was a very, very sad story, yes. What do you mean saying hello to Jay? Dennis Hayden says, "Dog's entire city is gone. 50-50." That's a very good point. Um, like I said, we just can't seem to corroborate the theory. Daryl Jones says, "Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue." You know, I used to sniff glue, but my nose got stuck together. Shannon says, one of those vegans, Scott Pilgrim versus the world. Vegan police. Chicken isn't vegan. It is absolutely not vegan at all. And isn't Scott Pilgrim the kid from uh, uh, Slaughterhouse Five? That was Billy Pilgrim. It was the best I can do with such short notice. I almost forgot the name of the book. You know, if you're going to do a Kurt Vonnegut Jr. Joke, you really have to know which book you're talking about. Keithy says we need to enter more stuff faster. He's keeping up the chart in the chat. Yes. Yes, for once I'm able to keep up with you guys, which in your opinion means you're not posting enough. Pablo says, "What you drinking? Orange Crush?" No, this is an orange cream soda I found at my local supermarket concern. It's called Teddy's Orange Cream, and it is like really, really, really good. Unfortunately, it's also room temperature because I neglected to put it in the fridge before my show tonight, but I really wanted some. So I am drinking Room temperature orange cream soda and enjoying the heck out of it. Oh, Lance James says Dog the Bounty Hunter is alive and well. Thank you. Well, you know, it's Lance, it's so funny you mentioned this. I was doing some digging trying to find out if he was alive or dead. And it seems this has become like a running joke. People routinely post false claims of his death. It happened in like 2022. It happened in like 17 and 19. There have been at least 2 to 3 other times where people have actually done that. So, and of course, this time people have a valid reason to think he might actually be dead. And he says Sean Ennis, that might actually be my favorite Thomas Jane role. Scott Pilgrim, I'm guessing. I'm sorry. I feel like sadly, I think I have missed something, which happens so often in the chats, but I'm going to try to play along as best I can. A lot of people saying hello to one another. Oh, yes, Pablo says, Plymouth Chafin Dog's wife passed away. Yes, and elephant in the room. She passed away some years ago, and before she passed on, she had him promise that he would never remarry. He could certainly date again, but to never remarry. She wanted to be the only Mrs. Dog, and he did not fulfill that promise. He, in fact, remarried. Brogu is here. He says, hello, everyone. He says specifically, hello, Thresh. Brogu, so grad school. So glad you could make it, by the way. So far, we're just having a general fellowship and chit-chat at this time. But tonight's trivia is going to be basically just random questions revolving celebrities who were either born or we lost in August. So consider it a Michigots. Indy Spout says Dog the Bounty Hunter is the new Abe Vigoda. Well played, old man. Well played. Teb says, why don't they really make syndicated scripted programming on TV stations anymore? That is a really, really good question. I've been wondering that myself, actually. And my guess is it all comes down to money. I remember when I was a kid, there was a show. It's actually one of the things that actually got me into vintage cinema. It was a show. It was called The Movie Loft. It was hosted by a guy named Dana Hersey. And what it was is, I want to say Friday nights at 8. It was, anyway, at this local TV station, Channel 38, they would come on and he would host a movie. And it was sort of like considered sort of highbrow horror movie host. He would wear like a jacket and tie, and he would have behind the scenes anecdotes and trivia information about a movie. But it was like not quite as quirky. It wasn't like Plan 9 from Outer Space and Living Dead. He would do things like Casablanca or Dr. Zhivago and tell you stuff about it in the commercial bumpers. But that cost money. So when Channel 38 was trying to economize, they got rid of him, even though he was like an institution. He used to do like kid shows. He would do Ask the Manager. He would do all kinds of stuff. But he ended up moving to New Jersey because Channel 38 didn't want to spend the money anymore. And it's a shame because now Channel 38, it's still on. It has no local flavor of any kind. Jay Albert says, Airplane, Johnny Dangerously are my favorite movies. Loved Airplane. Johnny Dangerously is great. In fact, I was just quoting it the other day. I got a big laugh. I remember my college graduation. Now, of course, I graduated, but by the skin of my toofies. I was not cum laude or even magna cum laude. And my friends and I, we were chatting about what the honors system were for graduates. And I said, well, there's cum laude, which is with honors, but the bigger one is magna cum laude, which is high honors. I'm graduating radio cum laude, and like the bar exploded. Like they thought it was the funniest thing they ever heard. And I must confess, I shamelessly stole that joke from the scene of Johnny Dangerously, where you think I've just painted myself in a corner. That's not from Johnny Dangerously. That's from Top Secret, where you think they're going to be executing Val Kilmer. But I do like Johnny Dangerously as far as those sort of quirky 80s comedies were. One thing, and it's actually on one of his albums, and this is a fact. This is actually a fact from Donnie Changer, so you can take this to the bank. Weird Al actually wrote the opening song to it. But for whatever reason, some people say it was copyright issues or contractual issues or something. They couldn't use it, so they ended up just using a generic period piece music at the beginning. But yes, I do love Johnny Dangerously as well. Lance Chapin says, Porky's anyone? Very funny movie. A little dated, but very funny. Keithy says, to Brogu, how are you doing with that new hippo Grogu? Sounds like a Japanese kaiju. Siri just came through your name. Yeah, I had to sort of extrapolate what you were talking about. Indy Spout says something which I'm not going to. It's a person's name. Has anyone seen this particular person? We all know what's going to happen if I say that, Indy. So I'm just going to have to let everybody extrapolate. And Daryl's also trying to goad me into saying it. We all know where this is going. Lindsay Javin says, Indy, Lassie, and the locker room. Brogy says, hi, Keithy. Harry the Hippo is doing fine. Wonderful. And Keithy says, I worked with a man named Hunt. He hated that joke. We all, this is the Porky's reference to which I am in reference. Indy Spout says, message retracted. And a message retracted to you, too. Bray Williams says, Ask the Manager was a great concept. It was, in fact, if memory serves, other local stations use that template with their own managers and announcer crews. But I believe it was started by Channel 38 in Boston. If someone else has more light to shed on that, please let me know. But it was a great concept. Sean says, Indy Spouts actually went to school with a kid with that name. He was absent or tardy every day. For some reason, they announced those names on the PA. I can imagine they would. Tree says, look, I graduated from college Magna Cum Mocha Latte. Magna Cum Mocha Latte? I love it. I absolutely love it. Teb says, Baywatch was originally canceled by NBC after the first season due to declining ratings, rising costs, competition against ABC, TGIF, and the original production company going out of business. It's hard to believe Baywatch wasn't making them money. Zuberplex is here. Oh my goodness, Zuberplex is here, and Zuberplex has gone off the page. So, Zuberplex says, what, are we in an alternate universe with a different background now? No, I just moved the camera over. When it faces too much in that direction, you get the backlight. So I shifted over here. I made a cursory attempt to put some decorations on the wall. I'll have better ones for next time. And now I don't get the backlit. And you can still see the liquor cabinet behind me. So not an alternate universe, just I moved the universe over slightly. Jay Albert says, the Lower East Side, this really sucks. Oh, yeah. Was it the worst July we've had in years? And it's like snowing. And his mom stole the movie, in my opinion. Joe John says, Tracy, I'm shocked. And he says, yo, bro. A lot of people saying hi to Zuberplex. And Jay Podla says, Porky's has a lot of really racially insensitive humor in it, which is dated by today's standards. I haven't seen the movie in years, so I have to hold off on it. But if I remember correctly, they weren't advocating it. They were trying to show they were against 50s racism. That being said, there may have been a lot that kind of went over my head because in the 80s we were insensitive to a lot of things. Because back then it was just having a sense of humor. We are far more enlightened now. Well, some of us are. But there's certainly plenty of reasons why. They actually, I don't know if any of you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but they talk at length about a scene in Porky's, which at the time was considered just naughty boy scamp humor. and it's actually really serious, like major no level stuff. So yeah, the times they haven't changed. Les Javen says, "Where is Cindy at?" Oh, she was here a minute ago. She just said something I said was funny. Where's Lisa Fields? We haven't seen her in some time. Same thing with Music Girl. I see Music Girl 67 on Facebook all the time, but she hasn't joined us. Also, Caroline Maloney. Now, Emily Miller, I have a hunch there was a plane crash. This is legit. I'm very sad. There was a plane crash in Hickory, Carolina, North Carolina. I'm guessing North Carolina, Hickory, North Carolina today. A lot of power outages. That might still be a problem. And Jay says my favorite character in Johnny Dangerously is Roman Romaine. The man bashes the English. Ooh, you some of a batches. You farking ice holes. Now that stuff I can say, which I thought at the time I thought it was like one of the funniest bits they ever did. The idea because you know what he's saying, but you get it past the censors because he's not saying it. He's saying words that sound like it. But of course, in fairness to Podblast, that too might be considered ethnically insensitive. But I'll let you guys make the call. But I did think it was a very funny movie. I think we just jumped again. I'm going to scroll down. Here we are. I'll skip to everybody saying hello to everybody. Daryl Jones says, female announcer. The white zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers only. There is no stopping in the red zone. Airplane. They do a joke about that on Rick and Morty. The flarp zone is for flarping and unflarping only. And he says, my retracted message was correcting you on Top Secret, but you caught it just in time, preventing yet another public flogging. Indy, feel free to correct me anytime you want. I've already corrected. Your corrections are, as I once said to Harlan Ellison, I have never been chastised so articulately. But that was very kind of you to contemplate sparing my feelings. Mike Silva says, LOL, Daryl. Lance Javen says, Johnny Dangerously. My mom shoot me once, just once. Mike Silva says, Kentucky Fried Movie for me, Pawns. Absolutely love Kentucky Fried Movie. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Love Fistful of Yen, but the rest of the movie is a treat as well. Daryl Jones says, put a poster up. Don't have the green slime poster. I wish I had the green slime poster. I love the green slime poster about 10 years before I saw green slime. I suppose I have. See, the problem is this is the dining room. So I'm limited to what I could put up. But I'll try to dig something up nice that might work here in my living room as a wall art. Tab says it's 8 o'clock time for some trivia. Oh my gosh, it is. I'll just get to the bottom of this because I want to skip anybody, and then we'll do trivia. Bray Wooden says, there used to be a local quiz show from the Springfield, Mass. PBS station called As School Match Wits. It was around 92 to 94 and was twice as hard as Jeopardy. There's a bell ringing in my head that sounds wicked familiar. Daryl Johnson just jumped off the page, so I'm going to go back here. Mail announcer later. The red zone is for immediate loading and unloading of passengers only. There is no stopping in the white zone. So it says, Top Secret Casablanca meets Beach Blanket Bingo. I would see Top Secret Casablanca meets Beach Blanket Bingo. But you're right. I'm like, if you actually put those two movies together, but Top Secret is I can certainly see your connection there, Zurplex. But now I want to make the Casablanca Beach Blanket Bingo crossover. Cindy says, I'm your Lance. I'm listening and putting clothes away. Very kind of you. A lot of people saying hi to Cindy. Lance Javen says, Emily Power is out because of a plane crash. Saw it on Facebook. Yeah, I saw it too. Apparently it's still out. Oh, Dan, the breaking news man, says, hi, I'm here. Dan, so glad you're just in time for trivia. I'm going to finish reading this column of comments, and then we're going to skip to trivia. Don John says, female announcer, no, the white zone is for loading of passengers, and there's no stopping in the red zone. Johnny Albert says Johnny Dangerously's mom played in the movie Plaza Suite. Love that scene in Plaza Suite. Would rather she be a fighter pilot in the Israeli Air Force. I love Plaza Suite. I think that one is my personal favorite. Although the one where the bride locks herself in the bathroom is great too. But regardless, Plaza Suite is a very, very, very funny movie. Fighter pilot. What would you rather be, a fighter pilot, the Israeli Air Force? And I'm just skipping through. Why'd you hand me your eye pencil? Because I didn't have a regular pencil. But why'd you hand me your eyeliner pencil? Because I didn't have a regular pencil. Want to go around again? Dan says trivia. What's the original name of the TV show Charlie's Angels? I don't know. But my favorite piece of trivia revolving Charlie's Angels is the concept of that came from when Aaron Spelling was in special services during World War II. He had a crush on the Andrews sisters, all of them. And what he did was he envisioned it wasn't going to be a TV show. TV wasn't really big then. It was going to be like a serial series, well, you know, the shorts, like the Shadow and all that. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, that type of thing. And it was going to be about these three entertainers during the war who were USO entertainers by day, but OSS agents by night. And they would go around and fight Nazi agents. And, well, that was never picked up. But 30 years later, he dusted it off and made them police women instead. And it became Charlie's Angels. Gerald John says, oh, God, Bob is going to get Mickey Mouse poster. I think I might have something Disney, but no, I'm gonna do something a little bit more me. Dave says, I lost on Jeopardy, baby. Pablo says, does anyone remember the quiz show parody on SCTV called Half Wits? It was hysterical with John Candy, Martin Short, and Eugene Levy. Vaguest recollections. Cindy D says, message retracted. Lance says, to David, Weird Al, definitely. Tracy says, just now you see that that game show with the trivia. And Braid Wooden says yes to Pod Blast. Grogu says, Daryl, I'm sorry about the other day. And Cindy says, Beach Blanket Blanca. And somebody just jumped again. But I'm going to go. Cindy's here. Says, sorry I'm late. I just got home. I'm so sorry about that plane crash, dear. So sorry. Is the power back on in your area? Were there survivors? I heard about the plane crash. I'm very, very, very sorry. Cindy says, no, Pub Blast. I don't remember that show. Indy Spout says, sure, Pod Blast. Watching Levy's head explode was fun. That sounds like a riot. And Daryl John says, no worries to Brogu. Jay Helbert says, give me ham on 5 and hold the mayo. Again, airplane. Says, I loved it when Will Ferrell portrayed Alex Trebek and Daryl Hammond portrayed Sean Connery. My time has come. I loved those bits. And Mike Silva says, Pod Blast, ever see Munchies or Avalanche from 1978 uncut? Trey said, I was worried about you, Cindy. Zublik says, hello to Cindy. Lance Chapin says, Emily, Tracy, and Cindy Lance's. Oh, instead of Angels. I get it. Emily, Tracy, and Cindy's Angels. Mike Silva says, Princess Leia Organa sung to the tune of the Star Wars theme, a day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into the light, a day that we celebrate the light. Yes, that's from the Star Wars Christmas episode, which I wasn't allowed to see. And Emily says, I'm sorry, Tracy, didn't mean to worry anybody. No, it's okay. We're just glad you're okay. And a lot of people are very glad she's okay. Oh, yeah, Pablo says, do you work at the airport? Emily says, I really haven't heard anything else since the rescue went out on the recovery. Cindy says, you mean Emily? You said Cindy Thrash. I may have, yes. I'm not sure which time I accidentally said Emily instead of Cindy or Cindy instead of Emily, but apologies. I'm sure you knew what I meant, which is funny because I'm trying to read down. Sometimes my boss yelled at me yesterday. I meant to order bacon for a pizza. I accidentally said ham. We don't carry ham for a pizza. And he yelled at me. He goes, you know that? You've been here how many years? I'm like, dude, I meant to say bacon. I said ham. Take a chainsaw, cut my friggin' head off. Joe Jones's mail announce that the red zone has always been for loading and unloading of passengers. There's never stopping in the white zone. And Emily says to Lynn, she's fine, thank you. Tracy says, I liked it on chairs when Calvin went on Jeopardy. Let's just see. I'm going to skip down. Zubik says Daryl Hammond portrayed Sean Connery as an insulting imbecile. Daryl Jones says, female announcer, don't tell me it was for loading and unloading, and which is for stopping. Pod Blast wondered if it was a plane crash. Shannon says, hey, Superplex, is that your first comment lurking? No, he's been around for a while. And Cindy says, no problem, Thresh, thank you. Like I say, sometimes I confuse points when I'm reading rapidly. Lance Jeevens says, pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? Myself, no. But the girl who wanted the bacon on her pizza last night also wanted pineapple. Emily says, Pod Blast, all I know is plane went down in the lake, maybe 5 minutes from airport. Hickory isn't a big terminal, so I don't doubt most people know. And he says, damn it, Daryl, the suspense is killing me. Pablo says, I wonder if the airplane pilot was drunk. Jenna says to Zublix, that lady about Daryl. Lady O.E. about Daryl Hammond. So he says, no blends or ham. Shannon says, oops, last comment. No worries. I got through it. And Pablo says, thank you for the newsflash. Fun with Noah says, send him to the principal's office and have him expelled. Daryl Jones is mail announcer. There's just no stopping in the white zone. Brad Wooden says, I'll take a time, a Newsweek, and the second time bomb on. Yeah, remember you used to be able to joke about stuff like that? Zublick says, no, Sean, my first comment was whether we are in an alternate universe because of the background difference. And Lynn Chapin says, I made hamburger stew yesterday. Yummy. Sounds really, really good. That does sound yummy. Trey says, Clavin on Cheers. A very funny person. Keithy says, keep that pineapple away from me. I'm not that hospitable. Shadu says, autocorrect, damn it. Yeah. Grr. Yeah, I'm with you. Sometimes I can try to extrapolate, but not always. Let's just see. Daryl's going on with the female answer. Oh, really, Vernon? Why pretend? We both know perfectly well that it's about you want me to. Denny Jane says, finally cooling off here down to 82. It was 77 last time I checked. And Daryl Jones says, yeah, I think we run down course at this point. Oh, and Fun with Noah says, this one is for the one and only true love princess, Peach. You're so cool, and with my star, we're gonna rule. Okay. And Pablo says, puts on my back to Washington voice from Welcome Back, Cotter. Hi there. And I'm more or less caught up. There's a few people below that, but I tell you what, we're about a quarter past 8, and I'm going to start the trivia. Now, again, for those of you just tuning in, we have 2 parts, and it's going to be either it's just random trivia about celebrities, but it's either celebrities who were born in the month of August, like old Thrash, or celebrities who we lost in the month of August, which hopefully will not be like Thrash. But I'm going to start, as always, in no particular order. At number 10, fellow Worcester native Dennis Leary founded his Firefighters Foundation in response to what famous disaster? A, 9/11, B, the Worcester warehouse fire, C, the station fire, or D, Hurricane Bob. Oh, in case you're wondering, Dennis Leary is born on the same day as I am, August 18th. When he was having breakfast on his 10th birthday, I was being born. But anyway, I shall repeat the question. Fellow Worcester native Dennis Leary founded his Firefighters Foundation in response to what famous disaster? A. 9/11, B. The Worcester warehouse fire, C. The station fire, or D. Hurricane Bob? And let's see what we got going on here. He's like, I know random trivia about celebrities. Keithy says, I saw the Worcester warehouse fire. It was a mess. That's right. You were working for an insurance company at that time, weren't you? Okay, I'm gonna give you. A lot of people are guessing A. I thought I actually put a. John Collins is here. Says hello, Bob. Hello, everyone. Bob, I'm off Facebook. It's such a time and emotional drain. I hope we were actually talking about this earlier. John, one, so glad you could join us tonight. By the way, we've been concerned about you. Two, um, I'm glad you're just off Facebook because it's too much for you. We were afraid there may have been like some important reason why you were dropping out. But don't be a stranger. Please stay, stay on these live chats, and just know that we were all thinking about you and concerned about you, and glad that there was nothing really serious other than just commitment and time and energy. Justin said, Thrash, I had a friend who had tickets to the station fire, great white show, but I just didn't like the band, so I never went. Elephant in the room, your friend who did go, were they okay? For people who are unfamiliar, the station fire, which was a fire in Rhode Island, it was a nightclub. They were having a live show. They had pyrotechnics. Something went awry. The insulation for the place was not fireproof, and it went up like a tinderbox. 99 people were killed. Terrible, terrible tragedy. As you folks know, New England is known for its tragic fire tragedies. By the way, there've been several big ones. I won't go into more of them here. But anyway, I think I should answer the question. I thought I gave a hint in this one, and I didn't see some of you said the correct answer is B, the Worcester warehouse fire. I opened with he was a fellow Worcester native. So what do you think the Worcester native would have a connection to Worcester? And yeah, you have to say it like that, Worcester, not Worcester. I had a teacher who used to pronounce it that way just to bother me. She's like, in Worcester. I go, it's Worcester. Can you say my sister, Krista, got a blister where you kissed her? But anyway, the answer is B. Moving forward to number 9. Legend has it, Jennifer Grey almost passed on her iconic role in Dirty Dancing after being marginalized by Patrick Swayze in which previous film in which they were both featured? A. Youngblood, B. Red Dawn, C. Renegades, or D. North and South? I shall repeat. Number 9. Legend has it Jennifer Grey almost passed on Dirty Dancing after being marginalized by Patrick Swayze in what previous film? A. Youngbloods, B. Red Dawn, C. Renegades, or D. North and South? And Emily's saying Jewish space lasers. Braidwood says, if you want an education of New England accent, watch an old episode of This Old House. Tom Silva and Norm Abrams had heavy accents. They really did. And Pablo says Jennifer Grey never looked the same after she got that unnecessary nose job. Don't shoot me, but I never cared for Dirty Dancing. Frankly, neither did I. And yes, we have just given the game away, and most of you got it anyway. It was B, Red Dawn. Yeah, supposedly Jennifer and a lot of the other young stars were fledgling actors when they were on Red Dawn, but Patrick Swayze had been acting for years, so he was kind of like this professional guru type, and I wouldn't say it was a prima donna, but Jennifer Grey felt like marginalized when she worked with him. And when she found out she'd be starring with him in Dirty Dancing, she almost didn't do it. Now, the funny thing is, they since became lifelong friends right up until his death. And in case you're wondering, yes, Patrick Swayze was born in August. 2. And Indy Spud says to Pod Blast, most people aren't the same after Charlie Sheen hit on them at the police station. Drugs. Number 8. The Sundance Film Festival was started by what famous film star? A. Robert Redford, B. Paul Newman, C. Steve McQueen, or D. Harvey Keitel. I shall repeat. The Sundance Film Festival was started by what famous film star? A. Robert Redford, B. Paul Newman, C. Steve McQueen, or D. Harvey Keitel. And you guys are all over this one. Yes, the guy who played Sundance in Butch Cassidy's Sundance film. I almost made that the first question because I wanted to start with an easy one. But then when I thought that I mentioned Wister in the question and the answer, I thought that would be a hint that might give it away. But in any event, yeah, you guys got it. Like right out the gate, it was A. And moving on to number 7. Christian Slater jump-started his career by impersonating what megastar? A. Christopher Walken, B. Marlon Brando, C. Jack Nicholson, or D. John Wayne. Cindy says, you should have, Thrash. Pablo says Harvey Keitel got weird when he kept showing his junk in movies like the piano. Also the Bad Lieutenant. But yeah, he was weird. But again, Christian Slater jumpstarted his career by doing impersonations of what megastar? In characters, of course. A. Harvey Keitel. Oh, by my tongue. That's D. A. Christopher Walken. B. Marlon Brando. C. Jack Nicholson. Or D. John Wayne. And yes, virtually you all got it, except for Emily, who guessed Christopher Walken. Sorry, Miss Emily. It was C. Jack Nicholson. In fact, he made a joke when he hosted SNL, something about how he was actually going to star in a remake of Five Easy Pieces because he'd become so. It becomes such a requirement. Then he kind of go into that Jack Nicholson impression whenever he's doing a character. It always ends up going to Jack Nicholson. I don't know why. I don't know. And that was an incredibly feeble Jack Nicholson impression, but the best I could do on such short notice. Emily says, I don't care. The right answer is I'm still going with Walken. Well, you see, you could say he was impersonating Christopher Walken, but Christopher Walken tends to stammer and inflect on the last word out of his mouth. And even I think that sounds more like Carl Sagan. Pablo says, whatever happened to Christian Slater? It was interesting when he had an uncredited cameo in Star Trek IV, The Undiscovered Country. There was a story behind that. There's a great story behind that. And I think his stepmother or aunt was casting the movie, and can I just do a walk on? But yes, there is a good story behind that. There's another story about how Ike Eastman got the part as well, which I follow Ike Eastman on Facebook, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. And he says, Thrash, you're talking to my girl Emily all wrong. What else is new? Now it's whatever happened to Christian Slater. Keely says Emily's boots are made for walking. I want to do a rendition of These Boots Are Made for Walking in a Christopher Walken rendition. These boots right here, to which I am wearing, will one day in the not too distant future be walking in a manner perpendicular to your posterior. John Collins says, Bob, 2 questions. When were you guys discussing my Facebook status, and Pee Wee Herman ever host SNL? Pee Wee Herman did host SNL, by the way, and if I remember correctly, it was one of the last times he was paired with his earlier partner, Phil Hartman. um, First question. Oh, just a little bit earlier on, because we always like to we start the show talking about people who haven't joined the show, and at the time you had not yet joined the show, and I mentioned that you had I had gotten the message that you were leaving Facebook. Daryl John says, "What was the question?" I forgot the question. Um, oh yeah. Uh, well, yeah. Christian Slater was doing impressions of whom, and the answer is number C, Jack Nicholson. I'm sorry, we did kind of have a segment on that one, Daryl, but yes. Dan says, "What film festival should Jack Nicholson create?" Ooh, that's a good question. I would say the You Can't Handle the Truth convention. Uh, Emily Miller says to Gerald Johnson, but Christopher Walken was mentioned, so it doesn't really matter. And he says, that's the greatest impersonation of Walken after the stroke I ever heard. Thank you. Thank you. Elizabeth says the well past their prime film festival. Pablo says, poor Phil Hartman, I called off a marriage with a woman due to that tragedy. Hit too close to home. Commiserations, lad. Commiserations. Tracy says, yeah, just as good as Bill Shatner. I'm a rocket man. Emily says number C. Did I say number C? I meant letter C. Did I say number C? I am all over the place tonight. Danny says, John, did you have Facebook because they're the Chinese spies? LOL. That's not nice. Dan says the Overlook Film Festival. That's actually good. Thank you. That's actually very well. Because they are being overlooked, and that's the Overlook Hotel. I love it. I love double entendres. Cindy says, so sorry, Pod Bless. Yeah, very sad story, Pod Bless. It says sounds scary. It does actually. And Brayward says it's funny he really wasn't in A Few Good Men that long, maybe 15 minutes total screen time, yet he carries a good part of the film's suspense. Too true. And Jonathan says, Nostalgia, did she share the same first name, Bree? I think it was. I can't deal with anyone who shares my ex's first name. I cringe. Daryl Jones says, what's that drink you're drinking, Bob? And Zuberlick says, is there something in your drink, T-Pons? I'll answer both questions. It's a local orange cream soda. It's very good. And it's just orange cream flavoring. This Spot says, trivia, Bob? I'm so sorry. I will answer. We're just having so much fun with these random questions raised by my questions. But I'm going to do number 6 now, and then we'll get some scores. Number 6. Which Breaking Bad star actually grew up in Santa Fe, New Mexico? Was it A, Bryan Cranston, B, Dean Norris, C, RJ Might, or D, Anna Gunn? And I shall repeat. Which Breaking Bad star actually grew up in Santa Fe, New Mexico? Was it A, Bryan Cranston, B, Dean Norris, C, RJ Might, or D, Anna Get Your Gun? Get it? See what I did there? Anna Get Your Gun? Oh, Lance, it is your question. I just got a Facebook question from you, Lance. It is your question. There will be no Monday show tomorrow night, folks. Sorry, I'm a little overscheduled. I got some stuff going on. And then I have a really early day on Tuesday. So sadly, there won't be a show this Monday. You can plan definitely for one the following Monday. Del Johnson's Orange Creep. We had a made up soda when I was a kid. It was called Orange Plutonium. Tracy says Niders Lance. Oh, is Lance Bell? Oh, Lance says Thrash. You on tomorrow night? Oh, here he is again. Again, no. Wow, people are giving me scores, which leads me to believe nobody got this one. It was D, Anna Gunn. Anna Gunn actually grew up in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And Daryl Johnson says got 6. Oh, actually, some people are in this one. Brogu D. Yes, you are D. Correct, D. Cindy D. Cindy D got D as well, by the way. And let's just see. So scores, please. Emily says I didn't either. Cindy. Shonda says Cindy D. It is really good. Not just saying that. Indy Spouts guessed might. Is that pronounced might? Mita? Mighty? Mighty? Either way, it's wrong. Bubba says saw Cranston on Matlock on Me TV the other day. He had a violent death in that episode. Matlock had a lot of blood and gore. Ted has 3 of 5. Dan says I didn't watch Breaking Bad. I don't even try to break dance back in the day. Sean Ennis is 3 for 5. Zuplex is 5 for 5. I can't believe it. Neither can I. Maybe we're cheating. I'm kidding. Indy Spouts is 3 for 5. Emmy Lillo is 2 for 5, I think. I'm going to give it to you. Daryl Johnson is 5 of 6. That would be 5 of 5, actually. Tom is hi, guys. Tom, so hello to you as well. Tug just got here. Please, he's 0 for 5. Well, you can watch the first 5 in replay. Just in time for the second 5. A lot of people having fellowship with each other. Tracy says, maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow. You know what? I will try to make it for at least a portion of yours. Would you be going on that 7:30, 8 o'clock to whatever area? Please let me know. Lance James says, guys, I'm out. I'll see you all next Sunday. Have a good week ahead. Lance, have a great one. Thank you for joining us as always. Tracy says, I can't remember the first question. It was the Worcester Firefighters, the Dennis Leary Firefighters Foundation was in regard to what disaster, and it was the Worcester warehouse fire. Cindy D is 4 for 5. Everyone's saying hi to Tug, as well they should. Pablo says it's really surprising with how much violence Matlock got away with on NBC back in the early 90s. Walking Dead level. And Tracy is 1 for 5. Oh, and Danny Staten has given us a link for Tracy. That's very, very kind of you. And Emily Miller says, oh, yeah, 2 of 5. Okay, I'm going to go on with the second half. And this second half is going to be celebrities that we lost in the month of August. Questions about them. And I'm going to start with number 5. What comedy variety show did Robin Williams make recurring appearances on early in his career? Was it A, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, B, The Ed Sullivan Show, C, Sonny and Cher, or D, Pink Lady and Jeff? I shall repeat. What comedy variety show did Robin Williams make his recurring... I'll come again. What comedy variety show did Robin Williams make recurring appearances on early in his career? A, Rowan and Martin, B, Ed Sullivan, C, Sonny and Cher, or D, Pink Lady and Jeff? A lot of people guessing Sonny and Cher. I'll give a couple more guesses. Yeah. Okay, you guys who said A, you got it. Believe it or not, he was very, very young, but it was Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Sonny and Cher was a great guess, but no, it was Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Moving on to question 4. This famous American radio and TV announcer was best known for his long-time work on SNL. Was it A, Ed McMahon, B, William Conrad, C, Don Pardo, or D, Les Tremayne? I shall repeat. This famous American radio and TV announcer was best known for his long-term work on SNL. Was it A, Ed McMahon, B, William Conrad, C, Don Pardo, or D, Les Tremayne? And you guys got this one right out of the... Oh, Dennis DeLeo is here, man. When did you sneak in? So good to see you. Welcome to the party. Mr. Led is here. Says C, and he just dropped in. Well, Mr. Led, I'm so glad you did. Dennis, I'm so glad you dropped in. Um, we always miss it when you guys can't make it. It's always so nice when you can. And Cindy D said, "Who's D?" I don't know. I just put the thing down. Cindy. Oh, who's Les Tremaine? Well, if I tell you who Les Tremaine is, we'll give the game away. Well, anyway, you guys got this. It was in fact Don Pardo. Les Tremaine. He played. He's best known for our generation. He played uh, Shazam's, or should I say, Captain Marvel's sidekick in the live-action Captain Marvel TV show Shazam. Um, Socrates, I think he was called. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he got his start, or he was best known for. He did uh, announcements for sci-fi movies in the 50s, usually saying stuff like "Beyond your imagination," and you're trying to like hit this really like emoting voice. And he also played General Mann, of course, in War of the Worlds, another on-screen appearance, which is funny because he actually did voice work for someone else. Also did voice work. Paul Frees, who did voice work for War of the Worlds, also played a news broadcaster in War of the Worlds. And I'm getting off topic again. Um, oh, you didn't watch Shazam? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, John Collins says, Bob, does Christopher Walken actually talk like that, or do you think it's his shtick? A little from column A and a little from column B. Dennis DeLeo says it wasn't Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. It was a revival show that featured Lenny Schultz. I stand corrected. My research must have been flawed, but thank you if it wasn't. So anyway, everyone who missed that question, give yourself another point. Zublik says Paul Frees worked a lot with Disney. He certainly did. And Doug says, I've tried to imitate him a few times for my channel when doing 50s movies, but I can't. Really? Because you seem to you have that very sort of 50s voice, but I guess it's the register with a retrospect beyond imagination. In any event, moving forward, question 3. Ben Cross, who, as all the others, who we lost in August of, just in August, Ben Cross featured in what short-lived sci-fi horror TV reboot television series? A, The Twilight Zone. B, Dark Shadows. C, Land of the Lost. Or D, The Monsters Today. And I shall repeat. Ben Cross featured in what short-lived sci-fi horror television reboot series? A, The Twilight Zone. B, Dark Shadows. C, Land of the Lost. Or D, The Monsters Today. Tug says, who's Ben Cross? Really? Seriously. Well, the man died many years ago, but he was sort of a perennial. He played Captain Nemo in a made-for-TV movie about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And he was also in Dark Shadows. The very short-lived TV adaptation reboot of Dark Shadows in like 1990, I want to say. Pretty good. It didn't really go anywhere, but it was pretty good. Moving forward. This is actually my favorite question of the trivia for tonight. Released the same year as Star Wars, what Nazi zombie film features Peter Cushing as the German leader of an undead military unit? Was it A, Oasis of the Zombies, B, Night of the Zombies, C, Zombie Lake, or D, Shockwaves? I shall repeat. Released the same year as Star Wars, what Nazi zombie film features Peter Cushing as the German leader of an undead military unit? A, Oasis of the Zombies, B, Night of the Zombies, C, Zombie Lake, or D, Shockwave? Well, everyone's just talking about Ben Cross at this point. Oh, here the answer's pouring in. Let's just see. Kind of a mixed bag in this one. Emma Miller's giving us her age for some reason. Oh, Dan brings up a good point. He was in Chariots of Fire, Mr. Ben Cross. And Pablo says the Dark Shadows theme was pretty spooky. And Cindy D says, I thought you meant the Dark Shadows on NBC with Kate Jackson. Oh, no, no. It was a reboot of the original Dark Shadows. Only a lot steamier. And I'm going to give another minute or two, just another few seconds here. Oh, Mr. Lynn says, oh, the original Dark Shadows came out around... And he kind of trailed off there. The original was in the 60s. This was in the 90s. Oh, Dan says Attack of the Killer Zombie Tomatoes. Love it. The wrong answer, but I love it. Indy's Belt says, waited to not give this one away just for you, Bob. Very, very kind of you. Very kind of you. Tug says Shockwaves is... Oh, yes, it is Shockwaves. D, Shockwaves. Tug says Shockwaves is my favorite classic Transformer. And Danny DeLeo says, Emily, speed limit. Yes, it is a speed limit. And Pablo says, any fans of the original SWAT in here? Love that opening credit sequence and the main music. Haven't seen it in years, but yes, I was a fan when I was a kid. And Danny says, I've got the entire set of the original Dark Shadows comic books, entire run. Excellent, excellent. And he's about says, Rhythm Heritage. Yes, Rhythm Heritage to you too. And Tug says, I can't drive 55. Jonathan says, Tug, to be fair to you, he has had kind of a dismal casting since Chariots of Fire. I think he only got cast as the needing man in cruddy films. I'm guessing that was leading man in cruddy films. But yes, he's also been dead for 2001, I think he passed on. Ah, yes, Shona says, oops, leading man. Makes perfect sense. Tug says, but I like cruddy movies too. Oh, Pablo says, Gold Key comics are cool. I have some of those myself. They're great, actually. And Zubik says, yes, he did die young. He did, in fact, die young, yes. Okay, number one. This is a cool one. Number one says, and this is Karen Black, who, again, we also lost in August. And the question is, how many parts does Karen Black play in legendary cult horror flick Trilogy of Terror? A1, B2, C3, or D4? I shall repeat. How many parts does Karen Black play in legendary cult horror flick Trilogy of Terror? A1, B2, C3, or D, a lot. And John Bernstein snuck in and says, nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition. True, nobody does expect a Spanish Inquisition. Amongst our weaponry are such diverse elements as fear, surprise, ruthless efficiency, and an almost fanatical devotion to the Pope. I was just reciting that at work the other day to some kids who had literally no idea what I was talking about. But that's kind of my shtick. Well, a lot of people got this one. A lot of people guessed. I don't know, it's a C3PO. Pablo says, Karen Black made being cross-eyed sexy. LCD says room 222. She was in room 222. Tracy says, I will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Guys, come and chat. I will do my best, mon frere. Tug says, stop breaking the news, Dan. And anyway, Tracy said 4, and that is the right answer. So for all of you who said 4, yes, there's trilogy. There's 3 parts. In one part, she actually plays 2 different characters. Well, it's the same person, just 2 different characters. I don't want to give the game away. Just take my word for it. So anyway, so she actually plays 4 separate parts in Trilogy of Terror, which I think is a record. Now let's get some scores, because Zuplex is already giving them to me. Zuplex is 7 out of 10. Kind of took a nosedive in that last part, huh? Oh, Tug says he will try. Tug is 3 of 5. And, oh, come on, people, give me some scores here. We're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes. Here we go now. Cindy D is 8 for 10. X, outstandingly good. Dan says trivia with stars. What actor played in Archie Bunker's Place and the Brady Bunch? Ooh. Archie Bunker's Place and the Brady Bunch. I'm going to make a wild, stabbing guess. Was it the same guy who, I don't know his name to save my life, but he's saying, I ain't getting nothing for Christmas. Mommy and Daddy are bad. I ain't getting nothing for Christmas, 'cause I ain't been nothing but bad. If it is, let me know. If not, I'll have to sing something else. I missed all kinds of scores. Oh, and actually just indies. Indy is 8 for 10. Tracy Wells Myers is 3 for 10. Sean Dennis is 7 for 10. Mr. Light is 2 for 3 for the ones I heard. well, fair enough. It's like the SATs. Don't count the ones you don't answer. Daryl Johnson is 8 for 10. Keithy says, need to watch replay. The lightning here is messing you up. Did you get our storm? I don't know. I'm losing my voice for some reason, but I'll try to press on. Alan Melvin, is that the actor's name? Alan Melvin, and did he sing "I Ain't Get Nothing for Christmas"? Brad Woodard said Martin Balsam, Danielle Briabols. I'm going to butcher that name. Sorry. Cindy says Sam the Butt. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, that was so easy. Yes, because he played Archie's bowling buddy. Cindy, I was so overthinking it. Yes, he plays Sam the Butcher, Alice's on again, off again beau, and then he was an Archie. Very good, thank you. Duplex also got it. John Collins says, Bob, do you think that would be an audience for a mature update for the Muppets? You know, they're crank yankers. However, I mean, with actual Muppets, for one would love it. Probably, I can see that. Teb is 6 for 10. Terrell, that's a very noble score. Glad you did well. Keith E says Drunken Oliver. Robbie Wrist. Dennis DeLeo says, if anyone wants to see me on Kimmel next month. You're on Kimmel next month? Tell him I said hi. Oh, please notify Jimmy Kimmel. Well played. Doug said, sorry, dropped the phone. I hate it when I do that. Triple says, the Muppets were cool. Did you know, John, they were in the first season of Saturday Night Live? Yes, they were. In fact, there was one episode they couldn't make it. So, one of them, Chevy Chase, did a sock puppet thing. And Dan says, yes, Alan Melvin. He was also in one of my favorite movies with Jason Robards. He's in a movie called 1,000 Clowns, which I haven't seen in years. Skipping down. Cindy says, thank you, Mr. Led. I didn't know his real name. Gary Cameron says, sorry, I'm late. Gary, no problem. We were actually talking about you earlier. We're very glad you could make it. I'm getting ready to wrap up here. Did you have any more luck with the Dog the Bounty Hunter? Because from what we were able to gather, it seems he is still alive. There are some rumors out there, but there have been other attempts for people to say that he had died previously. I guess the town he lives in is destroyed, but as far as we can tell, Dog Chapman is alive as of today. But anyway, Gary, I'm so glad you could make it. Dan says Sam the Butcher and Barney. Yes, very good. I love that question, though. Teb says, why do you... Whitney Blake, Dorothy Baxter from Hazel, was a real-life mom of Meredith Baxter. Elise Keaton from Family Ties. Blake, along with her husband, later co-created One Day at a Time. That's a really, really good. That's a really good trivia question. Also, you know, the lady who played Hazel was living on Cape Cod when she passed on. She retired to Cape Cod and sadly passed on. I don't know if it was in August. Podblast says no late night talk shows are in production due to the strike. I know the strike's really throwing a wrench into everything. I'm afraid. Joe Jones says Madonna's birthday is the 16th. Yeah, I know, and I believe um, her first husband. Oh, Dynasty. The three brothers are all actors or entertainers. Was also August 19th. I want to say. Oh, Zublick says the Muppets just didn't gel well with the comic stylings of SNL, and they were gone after the first season. Adele Johnson isn't his son dead? Also, could be. Dennis says dog's house is burned completely on the news. So is the Rock's childhood home and some old ass trees. Oh, that is so sad. That's so sad. Tracy says thanks for the fun, guys. CDD says One Day at a Time was based on Meredith's life. No kidding. No, I did not. I never knew that. I never knew that. That's a great trivia. Mr. Lynn says Shirley Booth was an Oscar winner. A lot of people saying goodnight to watching saying goodnight to Tracy. Tug. A lot of people saying goodnight to Tracy. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Okay, Cameron says R.I.P. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Well, Gary, if you say it's legit, I'll buy it. I just haven't been able to confirm it, but if you say it's legit, I'll buy it. Pablo says Madonna screwed up her face with bad plastic surgery. Yikes. Ooh. Cindy says Marty, great movie. Marty was a great movie. Sean Penn, thank you, Daryl Johnson. Sean Penn, brothers of Michael Penn and Christopher Penn, who were also entertainers as well. I just drew a total blank there. Of course, we're going back almost 40 years at this point. Daryl Johnson goes on to say, kind of sucks. Was it a good show? I'm not sure. But it always sucks when a show is canceled. Dennis DeLeo says, Barry Gordon, great character actor, played with Jason Robards and Carol O'Connor. Let me know some of the things he was in specifically, like characters he played. The name sounds wicked familiar. Zublik says they did make a single brief guest appearance in season 2. They were together with Lorne Michaels taking notes of their cancellation on the show because they did not fit in. Oh, that sounds sad. Bruce Cruz Fails is here. Hello, Bruce Cruz Fails. Welcome to the show. Sadly, I'm getting ready to wrap up here. Bruce Cruz Fails says, hi, Thrash Gonzo here. Been listening to you guys, just lurking in the background. Very interesting as usual. I hit the like button. Stay awesome, dude. Danny, do me a favor. Send a link to Bruce Cruz Fails. He has been doing some great animation in the past, but now he's doing compilations of epic fails where people fall off buildings and rider mowers and try to dive into pools and things go awful. And it's the funniest. I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it. So please, send a link to Bruce Cruz. For those of you who haven't watched it, you'll love it. A lot of people saying hello and goodbye because as many people who are leaving as are coming in. Just Leo says nothing for Christmas. Again, those of you who got here late, Gary and well, Bruce Cruz has been here, just has been keeping under the radar. But thank you for making it as you could. It's always nice to see you people when you get a chance. Any appearance is a good appearance. How's your headache, dear? Oh, she's giving me the. Apparently, Mrs. Thrash's headache is much better. She's feeling much better now, which is good. I mean, she was taking it with good humor and aplomb. You couldn't even tell the poor girl was in pain. She was just an overflowing cup of human goodness, and she's giving me this like smirk. But no, she's feeling much better. How happy we are for that. Oh, Bruce Cruz says thank you. Everyone's saying hello to Mrs. Thrash. So nice of you. Danny says, I've been searching the internet for dog news. Oh, and Keith says, Whisker Fire was in 1999. I was working at the Hampton Inn in Lawrence, Mass. Nice little town. One of my best friends was actually from Lawrence, Mass. Kid I went to college with. Lost track of. Hey, Johnny, if you're hearing this, hope you're doing well. Last time I spoke to you, your wife was having a baby. You probably just graduated from college. It has been a while, hasn't it? Oh, and everyone's saying that hello to Mrs. Thrash, and they're glad she's feeling better. Best wishes. That's so nice, you guys. And on that note, I really should wrap up. We're hitting the 9 o'clock mark. So I just want to say thank you guys all for showing up tonight. For those of you who are here from the get-go, for those of you who started but had to leave, and for those of you who got here at the end, and for those of you just here in spirit, I want to thank all of you for being here. It has been so much fun, as always. And again, no show tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to do one again next Sunday. So, guys, have a great week. And until then, be good, be safe, be careful. And remember, Tracy's show is tomorrow. So, hopefully, I'll see you guys there. And if not, I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.